Mavs TV app is live. It brings you live games, replays, original shows, and behind-the-scenes content directly to your TV or web browser. Scan the QR code and sign up now for a Mavs TV season-long subscription and receive a $50 Mavs Shop gift card with purchase while supplies last. 98-89 is the final. Mavs winning in Phoenix, and our moment of the game brought to you by Legacy Precious Metals. Big Dan is back, Skip.
Yeah, that was huge. That was right out of a Phoenix timeout. You always want to score out of a timeout late in a game like that. Spencer gets the deflection. Maxey gets the steal. He tosses it back to Spencer. And that beautiful little Magic Johnson-esque redirect blindly for Big Gaff to get the layup. Game over. Huge play. You had three important guys there that stepped up tonight. Maxey, Spencer, and Big Daniel Gafford all involved in that play.
Who was scoreless in the game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but bounced back in a big way with 16 to go along with 5 rebounds in this game. Let's get reaction now from Jason Kidd on the collective effort by this Mavs team that had a very short bench tonight.
So obviously a lot of emotion in this one. How'd you guys kind of weather not having not only Luka but Najee and PJ there in the second half?
Yeah, I thought just the depth, the guys being prepared, being ready. Some of those guys sat for 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters, and on Max and he did a great job when he came in. It's not easy to sit over there for almost 3 quarters and then in a tight game. I thought his energy was positive. He was good for us. Without Luka already, we lose PJ and Marshall. So, again, great team win. Next man up mentality. The guys, the character, they protect one another. It was a big-time win on the road.
Didn't talk about it a little bit. Just what was your perspective of it? Just how it kind of escalated from one point.
Yeah, I think just protecting each other, and that's what that was. Teammates. It's always emotions can get high, and so for our guys to protect one another, we talk about it, and it was displayed tonight. And so it was good to see those guys protect each other. Now we move on and got to get ready for Portland tomorrow.
So we need to look back at what went down. You started the show talking about it and what a kind of monumental moment this was in the game. And it's frustrating because now you're going to be without Najee Marshall. You were without P.J. Washington and Najee for the rest of that game. And so much of it was because of what Jusuf Nurkic did. And it all starts here. And we look back at it. What were you thinking as this unfolded?
At the moment, that right there where the foul is kind of above the collarbone, I wasn't thinking much. But Nurkic circles back, okay? That's what really started all this. And, man, I don't care if it's open fist or what. You touch a man's head and shove it like that, you're starting a fight. He started that fight. And then Najee Marshall punched him in the earlobe. I'm not worried about that. But he started that in both ways. One, by doubling back, and then number 2, by drawing first blood. And, people always act like, well, if it's an open fist, it's a punch. Man, when you're a big old bear of a dude like that, you take your whole paw and slap a dude upside the head, you're starting a fight. And I also think P.J. Washington Jr., I think part of, he didn't push him down and then get on top of him. He pushed him, and I think if Nurkic hadn't already lost his balance from throwing a punch, he probably wouldn't have gone all the way down like that. And so I think with Nurkic landing on the ground, that's probably the reason P.J. Washington Jr. got tossed. I thought that was excessive. I thought he should have gotten a tech, but not been tossed. I get Najee and Nurkic getting tossed. Obviously, Najee's going to miss the game against Portland, and maybe more than that. We'll see. The way that they look at a closed fist, they look at it differently. I don't think, personally, it's any different than what Nurkic did, and I think Nurkic did it first. But I can't believe they tossed PJ. I thought that was excessive. I don't think PJ will be suspended for the game against Portland.
And that is certainly the good news there. And it almost seems like a reasonable reaction for PJ, who's so close to the action. And I mean, you could even argue he was helping try to break up those two as he was moving the man mountain that Nurkic is out of the way, and he's losing his balance in the process. And so it certainly does, look like, and we can argue from this Mavericks perspective, like it was more of that than anything else. You do have, and none of us are condoning any of this violence on the court and don't want to see it. Frustrated at Nurkic for even creating it, and I think he was having a really bad game, and he had been so good. It had been an absolute pain, thorn in the side for the Mavericks in the first two matchups, and was completely being played off the floor in this one here tonight. And so that's where his frustrations boiled up. He creates this whole situation that now has a domino effect for the Mavericks. All of that being said, Najee Marshall's one of those guys we were talking about with the absence of Luka now for extended time, was somebody we were really anxious to have be a big part of things. And he's been working his way, trying to get his conditioning back from this illness that has had this kind of a herky-jerky effect on his minutes and his availability for games. And I just hate that he is now gonna miss another game, potentially more, because the Mavs are shorthanded. You don't want them losing any guys. They got a back-to-back. They got a game tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's please only one game. Please one game. They need him, and they need him to be a part of that lineup. And I think to your point about PJ, if PJ had shoved him down and then continued to go after him, that's a different stance that you're taking. That's a different posture.
On business over him.
He literally shoved him and then looked away. Like it wasn't, to your point, I think he was trying to break it up. He should not have been ejected. I'm just hoping for one game. Hoping for one game with Najee. And no disrespect to Portland. If it is going to be one game, at least they can deal with that.
More coming up. Boy, lots to talk about with this one in Phoenix. And tomorrow night, what a back-to-back. We'll be back to preview it next.
Legacy Precious Metals.
Mavericks enjoying their time in the desert tonight. A 98-89 win over Phoenix in the Valley of the Sun. But off they go as this road trip continues to Portland, and we check in on the Trailblazers last night. In case you missed it, look at Scoot Henderson with a moment he said he has dreamt about all his life, a game winner, and that is what he gets to fall with that bucket. Of course, we just saw the Trailblazers in Dallas not long ago, and it'll be up there with them feeling pretty good about things after that.
Do you know how hard it was for Scoot to not travel there? Seriously, I mean, you dragged that pivot foot. That was very impressive. But Portland was not very good against us, and they've been really struggling. I thought Scoot had some nice moments in the second half, so it doesn't surprise me that he had a good game last night and had a game winner. And let's face it, if Portland's going to get this thing turned around, they need their young lottery picks to really grow. And so they need big things from Scoot Henderson.
Wondering what version of the Mavericks we see tomorrow, because we've talked about Najee. He's not going to be available. Kyrie Irving tonight plays 40 minutes. Do we think we'll see him tomorrow?
I would be surprised if we see Kyrie tomorrow. I think even the minutes that we saw him play and the moments where Kid kept him out there almost felt like a bat signal that, all right, he's not going to be playing tomorrow night. But hey, you got to tune in to find out.
That's right, and we want you to join us on Mavs TV tomorrow night. We'll have the pregame coming your way at 8:30 with tip-off at 9 o'clock. That will do it for us. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.